Aris Patania,
Yes. Please, madam.
it was said in Parliament itself that there's almost a drastic decrease in the number of terrorism since the abrogation of Article 370. And then
Absolutely.
you have the reality of repeated attacks over the last few months.
Yes.
Does this bring in a concern? The opposition is saying it's not really the opposition because there is no government as such in J&K. There is no state government. It's governed by the LG. Nonetheless, the political parties are saying that there's been no connection between the abrogation of Article 370 and terrorism.
Sneha, to be very plain and very pragmatic, Jammu and Kashmir is at a very, very defining moment, particularly after 5th of August 2019. An increased investment in public and private sector, increased tempo of development, a bigger tirade against corruption, big administrative reforms, and above all, let me hit the right nail on the head, an increased sense of security in Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. You see, the security scenario has virtually metamorphosed in Jammu and Kashmir, although the incidents you were quoting at the start of the show, they stand as a big challenge. They are a challenge. They are rather a gauntlet for the security forces, for the establishment, for the Jammu and Kashmir administration. And particularly, they are manifestation of an frustration brewing with regard to the feel-good factors created by the Herculean and the unprecedented reforms unleashed by Bharat Sarkar with regard to Jammu and Kashmir. One part. Secondly, with regard to assembly elections in Jammu and Kashmir, we have been very clear and very categorical. First of all, we want to thank the Election Commission of India. Post 5th of August 2019, there was a comprehensive delimitation and that even completed in a record period of time. Then that report accepted, then went for discussion in the parliament too. Thereafter, a detailed voter revision because there was relocation of polling booths also. And now, ultimately, the delay, the so-called delay, and the so attributed to as the delay, there was no delay at all. So these are the processes which had to be done after a delimitation.
Mr. Patania, while you mentioned that, it's interesting, and of course, Election Commission, you've thanked the Election Commission, just 1 minute.
Absolutely.
But would you, let's also remember the fact that this has been announced at this time because there was a deadline by the court itself, by the Supreme Court itself, that the elections have to be conducted.
Sneha, let me clarify. This is a very beautiful question, and let me put it in the right perspective. You see, this was not a in legal language we call it as it's a direction per incurium. This is admitted by concession because this is not that Supreme Court mandated us to say like this. On day one, the CJI said to Bharat Sarkar, when will you conduct elections? We reported to Bharat Sarkar that we will conduct elections in 2024 itself. So on a statement made by the Solicitor General on the floor of the Honorable Supreme Court. So there was a direction and our stand also.